20 years. I started my construction business from the ground up with nothing but an old beat-up truck and a hammer. Now, it's grown into a company worth millions. I didn't have any help from family or inheritances. Just hard work, long hours, and determination got me here. My wife, Avery, was a stay-at-home mom, devoted to raising our 2 kids. Billy's 17 now, standing at the threshold of adulthood. Mia is 15 and already overflowing with teenage sass. From the outside, we looked like the perfect family. Weekend cookouts, seaside getaways, and matching pajamas every holiday. We were the definition of a picture-perfect life. Then, around 2 years ago, I began picking up on subtle shifts. Avery joined a gym. She said it was good for her mental well-being. That sounded reasonable, but soon after, her style began to evolve. Nothing inappropriate, just sharper and more put together. She started wearing full makeup just to pick up groceries, and her closet filled with new clothes. The old stained sweatpants I used to joke about disappeared, replaced by fitted leggings and tight tops that showed off her figure. I assumed she was just trying to reconnect with herself after spending years focused on being a mom, and I genuinely supported that. Then my younger brother, Colton, started dropping by more frequently. He claimed it was work-related, permits, schedules, project issues, but most of that had already been sorted out during business hours. Even so, he'd show up in the evenings saying things like, "Just wanted to confirm a few things." Next thing I knew, he was sitting in my kitchen, sipping coffee. Sometimes I'd walk in and hear them laughing together. Other times, the silence between them was so thick it practically echoed. And the kids? They started acting off too. Whispered conversations. The moment I walked into the room, everything went quiet. I'd ask, "What's going on?" And they'd brush it off with things like, "Oh, nothing," or "Just school stuff, Dad." I chalked it up to normal teenage behavior, mood swings, keeping things to themselves. Part of growing up, right? Looking back, I should have paid more attention. I see that now. But I was swamped with work, trying to make payroll, secure contracts, deal with supply problems. I had faith in my family. I loved them deeply. And that, trusting too much, was my biggest mistake. 2 weeks back, Billy asked to borrow my AirPods, said he lost his. I knew I'd seen them on his desk, so I went into his room to get them. While looking, I accidentally knocked over a pile of books. They scattered. Behind them, half buried like someone wanted it hidden, was an old iPhone. Not the one he used now. An outdated model, cracked and worn. I should have ignored it. But something about it felt off, like it didn't belong there. I pressed the power button. The screen came alive. Still had juice. No password. That's when my whole world collapsed. Hundreds of messages. Between Avery and Colton, stretching back 2 full years. Selfies, flirty texts, romantic talk. My name sprinkled all over. Avery typed, "He's so busy all the time, doesn't even see when I change my hair." Colton responded, "That's because he doesn't really look at you. I do. Always have." She texted, "He just thinks this is some phase. That's easier than facing the truth." And he replied, "One day, we won't have to hide anymore. He won't be in the way forever." I kept scrolling, hands going numb. "Avery, Waylon's the barrier," Colton wrote. "He always has been." Photo after photo. Them on my bed, in his apartment, at my office, even at job sites. Like some sick love story. Except the punchline was me. They weren't hiding. They were flaunting it. In my space, on my sheets. But even that wasn't the worst blow. The part that hollowed me out, turned my insides to dust, were the texts from my own kids. Billy and Mia, the ones I worked myself to the bone for, the ones I built this life for. They knew. They'd known for over a year, and they weren't just aware, they were part of it. Billy was deleting the doorbell cam videos whenever Colton visited. Entire clips missing. I never even noticed. Mia? She ran interference. Covered for her mom, faked schedules. She messaged, "Yeah, Dad, Mom was with me at practice until 6. But the timestamp said Avery was at Colton's at 4:30. They had a whole system. Signals, codes, stuff like, "Billy, Dad's pulling into the neighborhood." Mia, "Delay him? If he calls, say I left a book at school." My own children were the security team for their mom's affair, with my no-good brother. I sat there on Billy's bedroom floor, stunned, reading, taking screenshots, not to confront them, just to document it. Proof of the life I hadn't realized I was living. No tears, no shaking. I was hollow, like reading some stranger's tragedy, some idiot who never saw it coming. Eventually, I stood up, put the phone exactly where it had been, buried behind the books. Then I went downstairs. Avery was at the stove, humming like life was sweet, stirring something. Colton was leaned back at the table, drinking one of my beers. Billy and Mia were at the dining table pretending to study. Perfect family picture, right? "Hey, honey," Avery said with a bright smile. "Dinner's almost ready." I smiled, kissed her cheek, grabbed a beer, and sat beside Colton. "How was your day?" he asked, all casual. Like we were still tight, like he hadn't gutted me. "Great," I said. "Really great." We had dinner, chatted about regular stuff, weekend plans, Billy's upcoming graduation, Mia's school play. Totally normal. Except I knew. Every smile was fake. Every joke was scripted. Every "love you, Dad?" utter garbage. That night, for the first time in months, Avery made a move. She stepped out of the bathroom in one of those silky robes I hadn't seen since the early years, back when things still felt real. Hair damp, face soft, robe barely tied, like none of it had happened, like she could just press rewind. She slipped into bed beside me, letting her skin brush against mine under the covers. She moved closer, slow and deliberate. Her hand found my chest. She whispered, "I've missed you, Waylon." I didn't flinch, didn't even look at her. "I've got a headache," I said flatly. A headache? That's all she's ever going to get from me again. Cold truth in a lukewarm lie. Still, she curled against me like nothing had changed, head on my chest. Breath evening out like this was just another night, another chapter in a normal marriage. I stared at the ceiling, eyes wide open, tracing cracks in the plaster I must have looked at 100 times without ever really seeing. My mind wasn't in the room. It was stuck replaying every time Colton had probably laid in this very bed. Our bed. While I was out working brutal hours to pay for the stupid mattress. She drifted off easy. No guilt, no tension in her face. Like sleep came naturally to her. Must be nice. I didn't blink for hours. Just lay there, locked in place, running over every single step of the plan like it was a mission briefing. Visualizing every move, every contingency. Sure, I could have blown the whole thing up that night, thrown back the covers, called her out, screamed it all into the open, but what would that have done? She'd deny it. She'd cry. Maybe slap herself into victim mode. Flip it, tell the kids I was paranoid, unstable. Nah, when it's time to burn it all down, you don't do it with fireworks. You light one match and walk away with precision. I met with 3 lawyers. Each had a different angle. I listened, asked questions, took notes. In the end, I went with the one who had the look of a wolf wearing a silk tie, sharp teeth behind a calm smile. In my state, infidelity still carries weight in court. That's not just a detail. That's leverage. And the evidence? Bulletproof, screenshots, photos, metadata, dates, locations. I've got timestamps, GPS tags, full threads of messages. But the best part? Colton used company resources, the company vehicle, the work-issued phone. That's not just moral failure. It's a breach of contract, business misconduct, legal grounds to bury him. So I started building. First, the financials. I wiped out the joint credit cards, paid them off, shut them down quietly, redirected my paycheck into a new account under my name only, told Avery I was updating our investment strategy to protect against market volatility. In reality, I was moving money through a friend's company, papered up, signed off, all legal. I sold the boat, offloaded the bike, told her, "I've been thinking, babe. We should be cautious with our spending. Things feel shaky out there." She smiled. "Whatever helps you sleep, babe." Of course she agreed, less to split when she bolts full-time to Colton's couch. At work, I promoted my foreman, gave him authority to run daily operations. Then I handed Colton a new title, Strategic Field Manager. Sounds fancy, does nothing. Kept him buried in busy work, watching, logging every mistake. And there were many. Behind the scenes, I registered a new business in another state. Clean name, no links to me, no shared address, just another cog in the legal machine. Avery still thinks I'm spiraling over interest rates and political chaos. At home, I wore the mask. Loving husband, engaged dad, pitched in with school projects, grilled steaks on Sundays. Even joked around with Colton like I didn't fantasize about breaking his jaw. We still shared a bed, but the warmth was long gone. The marriage had flatlined. Got a full medical panel done, just in case. Clean bill. A small mercy. I stayed present for the kids, quizzed them before tests, gave them rides, high-fived their grades, posed for family photos like it all meant something. If there were Oscars for pretending, I'd have given the speech of the year. Billy noticed once, brought it up gently. "Dad," he said one night after dinner, eyes uncertain, "you seem kind of off lately. Are you okay?" I nodded. Calm, even tone. "Just work stuff. trying to stay ahead of the storm. He glanced at Mia, quick but telling. A little exchange, like they were reading each other's temperature. They're on to me, at least partially. Good. Let them stew. Let them wonder how much I know. Let them feel the walls close in. Now the house. That's the ace in the deck. Valued near $800,000, fully paid off. Found a buyer through a trusted contact. Cash offer, no questions. Willing to close on my timeline. Told Avery, met this guy through the club. He made a wild offer. I think it's time to scale down, simplify. Invest the difference somewhere safe. She blinked. This house means a lot. We've made so many memories here. Yeah, like the time you invited betrayal into my home. But I kept my voice steady. I know. But sometimes a fresh start is more valuable than nostalgia. Eventually, she caved. We signed preliminary documents. She thinks we'll be house hunting next week. We won't. Yesterday, Colton dropped by like nothing was off. Six-pack in hand, grinning. You really going through with the sale? He asked. This place has history, man. I met his eyes without blinking. Sometimes the past has to stay in the past if you ever want a real future. He chuckled and slapped my shoulder. Man, deep, bro. 3 weeks left. That's it. 3 more weeks of this theater. Then I pull the trigger. And don't hand me sympathy about the kids. They weren't oblivious. They knew. They helped her cover it up. Lied to me again and again. Smiled in my face while the knife twisted. They chose their side. They chose hers. Let them live with it. Everything's ready. For the last month and a half, I've been living 2 parallel lives. And I've gotten really good at it. During the day, I'm still the loving husband. At night, I've been building a new reality, one without any of them in it. I secured an apartment across the country, 2,000 miles away. Used the new LLC, signed the lease, fully furnished it already. Sleek, modern, clean. No reminders of this place. Locked in a massive commercial build in the same city. Should keep me busy for a good while. New accounts, new number, new plan, even signed up at a new gym. Total reset, no ties. When I leave clean. House closes next week. Avery thinks we'll rent while we look for the next big thing. I told her it's smart to sell high and wait for the market to settle. She believed it, been boxing things up in secret, a little at a time. Slowly, methodically. Every item I care about is already gone. Shipped, replaced. The photo albums? Digitized, originals disappeared. My grandfather's watch? She thinks I wear it every day. She's wrong. I had a replica made. The real one's locked in my new safe, 2,000 miles away. Tools already doubled up. The new shop has everything I need. The company was the hardest part to handle. I couldn't just pull the plug without drawing suspicion. So I got clever. Gave Colton a shiny new title, Operations Director, a modest pay bump and more responsibility. Stroked his ego while tying a legal anchor to his ankle. My attorney drew up documents making him personally liable for any significant errors on the job. And believe me, I've been keeping receipts. Drinking on site? Check. Voicemails where he's slurring his words. Deadlines missed. Late arrivals reeking of alcohol. All logged, time-stamped, and tucked away safely. I also sold off 60% of the business to my foreman. On paper, a real transaction. Closing happens once I'm gone. The guy's put in 15 years beside me. Loyal, hardworking. He deserves it. The remaining 40%? Still mine, technically, but it's routed through the LLC. I'm just a silent stakeholder now. I get paid. I stay out. Now, about the kids. Maybe you'll judge me for this. I really don't care. They're about to get hit with a dose of truth. Billy's college savings? It's in my name. He doesn't know that, thinks it's some automatic thing. I drained it. He'll figure it out when he tries to pay his tuition bill. As for Mia, the car I plan to give her for her 16th, that's off the table. Credit cards? I've been footing the bill for their extras, snacks, clothes, ride shares. That ends the day I disappear. They wanted to act like adults? Great. Now they get to live like them too. Now here's the curveball. Colton's wife. She's in the dark. Sweet lady. Bakes cookies for the crew. Writes actual thank you notes. Married to a cheating rat just like I was. So I put together a package just for her. Every photo, every message, every timestamp. Printed and digital. Organized. Labeled. She deserves to know who's been in her house. It'll arrive the day after I vanish. The exit plan? Simple. Tomorrow I leave for what everyone believes is a business trip. Early morning flight. Nothing out of the ordinary. I'll kiss Avery goodbye, give the kids hugs, shake Colton's hand like usual. He always shows up early on Fridays. It'll look like a standard day, but my bags are already gone. I shipped them ahead. I'll travel light, just a backpack. Starting fresh means traveling light in every sense. On the kitchen table after I'm gone, she'll find a folder. Inside, divorce papers, printouts of messages, financial documents showing the moves I've made, a USB loaded with even more evidence. No letter, no heartfelt explanation, just a yellow sticky note. I know everything. Do not contact me. Speak to the lawyer. My old phone, left behind. Reset to factory. New numbers already running. Different plan, different device. By the time they read that note, I'll be flying high above them, literally and figuratively. What happens next is in the hands of my attorney. The house, already sold. That deal's locked and can't be stopped. The divorce, with everything I've gathered, will be efficient, brutal, surgical. Colton will get his pink slip by certified mail, along with a formal warning, try to push back, and I press charges. Why? He misused company resources, vehicle, phone, job sites, for personal gain, and I've got the proof. And the kids, they'll feel the fallout when Avery can't cover their bills, when the tuition fund's gone, when Mia realizes that car was never coming, when Billy tries logging into his student portal and finds no money. That's when they'll learn their dad wasn't some clueless pushover. Some of you will say I'm being cruel, that the kids are victims, manipulated, just teenagers. Spare me. Billy's almost an adult, old enough to understand loyalty. And Mia, she made deliberate choices, lied, helped, covered it all up. They weren't innocent, they just didn't think they'd get caught. They took sides, now they live with the consequences. In a few hours, I'll be unlocking the door to my new apartment in a different city, starting a completely new life. Meanwhile, they'll be digging through the ruins of the one they tried to destroy. I built a life from scratch once. I can do it again. Only this time there's no poison in the walls. Flight landed around noon. By 12:30, I had 18 missed calls. Billy, Avery, unknown numbers. I didn't answer a single one. By that evening, everything had exploded. My lawyer told me Avery found the folder just before 7 a.m., right around her first cup of coffee. She called him, screaming, sobbing, total breakdown, demanded answers. He stayed calm, gave her the line we'd rehearsed. Mr. Smith has retained our firm for his divorce. All communication must go through legal counsel. He will not be engaging directly. Click. By 8 a.m., Colton arrived at the house. All heck broke loose, screaming, yelling, swearing. Neighbors heard it all. Someone called the police. Perfect. As for the kids, Billy tried accessing his education account that afternoon. Wanted to drop a deposit on housing. Nope. Account cleared. Mia? Her school card got declined. Couldn't even buy a sandwich. Welcome to adulthood, sweetheart. My old phone kept lighting up like a Christmas tree. Eventually, I had to turn it off. Felt like it was going to catch fire. Thankfully, my new number is only known to 3 people: my lawyer, my property manager, and my foreman. That's it. Then came the twist. Colton's wife got the package. She didn't just leave him, she blew the whole thing wide open. Posted everything online. Screenshots, photos, timeline. Tagged him. Tagged Avery. Tagged mutual friends. The entire community saw it. In less than a day, Avery tried to control the narrative. She slapped up some pathetic post online about facing a challenging time and asking for privacy. Right, because that works real well after half the town's seen your explicit texts and bedroom selfies with your husband's brother. And Colton? That fool strolled onto the job site the very next morning like nothing happened. Showed up late, coffee in hand, acting like he was some kind of executive boss. But my foreman, now the one with majority ownership, was already waiting at the gate. Turn around, Colton. You're finished here. What the heck? What do you mean? He said. Security was already in position. He pushed back. This is a mistake. I'm the operations director. Were, the foreman said. Past tense. Now you're trespassing. They escorted him out like a drunken wedding guest. He tried filing a wrongful termination suit. My attorney crushed it in minutes. Misused company gear, violated policy, showed up drunk. It was all logged, recorded, and filed. He's lucky we didn't press charges. Here's the kicker. The guy had been flashing his promotion to everyone. Talking big. Took out loans assuming he was set for life. Now, no job, no wife, swimming in debt. Couldn't have scripted it better. As for the kids, here's where folks get real dramatic, calling me cold or cruel. I don't care. Billy had to hustle for financial aid. With no more checks from me, that dream college looked a whole lot pricier. Couldn't cover it. landed at the local community college instead. Mia took a part-time gig at 15. Welcome to real life, sweetheart. They tried every route to reach me. New accounts, fake emails, friends trying to relay messages, all blocked. My lawyer did pass along one handwritten letter from Billy, long emotional rant about being sorry, how he was stuck in the middle, how he never meant to hurt me. Stuck in the middle. Save it. You weren't collateral. You were an accomplice. You deleted surveillance. You knew exactly what you were doing. About 3 weeks later, Avery's legal team reached out, wanted to discuss terms, claimed I'd abandoned the family and that she was entitled to half of everything, plus spousal support. My lawyer actually laughed out loud during the call. We had rock-solid proof, infidelity, paper trails, screenshots with time and date. The kids were old enough that custody wasn't even a topic. She got exactly what the statute required, not a cent beyond that. The house closed. Once the numbers settled, she walked away with around $200,000. Might sound decent, unless you have spent the last 15 years as a stay-at-home mom. No skills, no diploma, and a reputation that's burned to ash. At her spending pace, she'll be broke within 24 months. And the extended family? That part was rich. At first, my parents tried to stay neutral. There's always two sides, my mom said gently, until our lawyer sent them the digital file. The whole ugly truth, texts, images, the works. My dad called me, didn't even ask how I was holding up. I'm sorry I raised a man like that, he said. And just so you know, Colton's out of the will. On Avery's side, they went straight for the drama. Public posts calling me a deadbeat, painting her as the poor, abandoned wife, made it sound like I ran off for no reason, so we responded with legal documents, cease and desist letters, attached with a few select screenshots, including one of their darling daughter getting cozy with her brother-in-law in what used to be their granddaughter's room. Funny how quiet people get when the truth is staring back at them. As for me, I'm thriving. The new venture? Already outperforming our forecasts. Signed 3 contracts for major commercial projects next year. Great margins. No drama. Been working out regularly. Down 20 pounds of fat. Up 10 pounds of lean muscle. Feel sharper. More grounded. Clearer than I've been in years. Dating? Not yet. But I've had chances. Turns out successful men in their late 30s with their lives together are a hot commodity. Bought a brand new truck. Paid outright. Got a motorcycle too. Always wanted one. Avery always said they were too dangerous. Yeah, funny. She didn't think what she did with Colton was dangerous. I started seeing a therapist. Not because I'm broken. I'm not. But because I wanted to understand how I ignored red flags for so long. She helped me face something I'd buried deep. The betrayal wasn't just from them. I betrayed myself by staying quiet, by denying what I felt, by pretending everything was fine when it clearly wasn't. And now, word is Avery's renting a modest 2-bedroom, working a retail job, Colton's couch surfing. Can't land a job. Word travels fast in our industry. His ex took the kids and moved across the country. Billy's holding down 2 jobs while juggling community college. Mia's doing babysitting gigs. Her grades are tanking. Do I feel guilty? Not at all. They made their beds. Every day for 2 years, they looked me in the face and lied, covered for something they knew was wrong. They figured I'd never find out. They thought I was weak. They were wrong. The emails my lawyer sends me, the ones he says are relevant, they're always the same. We're sorry. We didn't mean it. We need you. Please come home. Avery even claimed she was on the edge, said, I always loved you. Right. That's why you kept it going for 2 years behind my back. Billy's most recent email had this gem. I understand if you can't forgive me, but it's not fair to punish Mom and Mia for my mistakes. Wrong, kid. I'm not punishing anyone. I'm just done funding your lies. Big difference. The divorce wrapped up 2 months ago. My attorney said it was the most straightforward case he's ever handled. Why? Because the evidence was bulletproof. No arguments, no delays, just signatures and silence. When everything was finalized, she walked away with $200,000 from the house. A small spousal support package for 2 years was legally required. Nothing I could do about that part. There were no custody hearings. The kids are old enough to make their own decisions and face the results. I retained the business, the investments, and the retirement funds. My share of it all. She made one last attempt to spin the narrative by filing a claim alleging emotional mistreatment. The judge glanced through the file, looked back at her, and nearly issued a warning for wasting the court's time. Let's just say judges don't appreciate cheaters trying to paint themselves as victims. You remember my foreman, the one who took over the bulk ownership? He's officially my business partner now. While I stay off the record, I still get 35% of the profits. What's more, since I stepped back, revenue has increased by 40%. Turns out, when you're not spending all your mental energy on a household falling apart, you can focus on things that matter, like success. As for Colton, he tried setting up a rival company. Couldn't even last a single quarter. No clients wanted to work with him. No suppliers would touch him. In this field, your reputation is everything, and his is in the gutter. Regarding the kids, Mia sent a letter on her 16th birthday. 2 full pages. She apologized, promised to do better, even included a childhood photo of us. Touching, I guess. But when you've detached emotionally, guilt doesn't hit the same. Billy's supposedly doing better, still attending community college, got a bump up at his job. His girlfriend messaged me, very respectfully, and said he talks about me often, that he's seeing a therapist, that he truly regrets his actions. That's nice. But my emotional door remains closed. Now here's something unexpected. Colton's former wife and I started talking. Initially, it was just swapping stories, connecting timelines, realizing how long we'd both been deceived. But that turned into something more. We built a friendship. She's moving to my city next month to start a new chapter. Messy? Maybe. But I'm not concerned about appearances anymore. She told me something that hadn't surfaced before. Avery and Colton were waiting until my company reached a specific value. They had calculated everything. The goal? A bigger divorce settlement. It wasn't a spontaneous affair. It was premeditated. The kids even knew. So much for, we didn't mean to hurt you. I bought a new home. Modest, clean, comfortable. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a backyard pool, and a fully equipped workshop. Finally, I have a space to create, build, and unwind, without anyone complaining about the mess, the volume, or the time I spend there. I've taken a part-time teaching role at a local trade school. Passing down knowledge feels good. It also lets me keep an eye out for new talent. A few of the students show promise, and I'll be restarting operations soon, on my own terms this time. Physically, I'm the healthiest I've ever been. Picked up boxing. There's a strange sort of therapy in pounding a heavy bag, especially when you imagine faces from your past. I found a solid group of men at the gym, guys who are honest, consistent, and battle-worn in their own ways. People with backbone. I've started dating again. She's in marketing, no kids, never married, successful in her own right. Doesn't expect anything from me financially. She's strong, driven, and grounded. Exactly what I didn't have before. People occasionally ask me whether I regret how it all played out, whether I should have sought counseling, tried to patch it up, held the family together. Here's my clear and final answer. Absolutely not. This wasn't a one-time slip-up. It was a carefully coordinated betrayal. My own household became a performance, one where I played the fool. My children, who I would have given everything for, actively chose to help hide the truth. This wasn't confusion. It was intentional. They knew how hard I worked, what I sacrificed, the life I built for all of us, and they tossed it aside. Some people forgive, some do it for the kids. Maybe those people are better than me, or maybe they're just afraid of being alone. Me? I chose self-respect. After 19 years, I finally chose to protect myself, and I don't feel bad about it. About 2 weeks ago, I got a surprise call from a number I'd forgotten. It was connected to an old contact. Our dentist, I think. It was Avery. No clue how she got the number. Probably begged someone or got it through one of the kids. "Please," she said. "Can I have 5 minutes? I need to say something." I nearly ended the call, but curiosity kept me on the line. "You ruined everything," she said. "The kids can't look at me. I can't get work. Even Colton won't talk to me anymore. I've lost it all." "No," I said. "You tossed it away. I just stopped cleaning up the mess." She didn't say anything at first. Then her voice cracked. "I loved you. I just got lost." "For 2 years?" I asked. "That's not lost. That's a roadmap." I let it hang there. Then came the question, "Are you happy? Was breaking everything worth it?" I didn't hesitate. "I didn't break anything. That happened when you chose to sleep with my brother. I just documented what was already broken." I ended the call, blocked the number again. Starting over wasn't simple. Far from it. But it was necessary. I could have taken the high road. I could have gone to marriage therapy, let some stranger tell me how to reframe my anger, how to forgive people who knowingly destroyed what I built. I could have lied to myself just to keep the illusion going. But why? So I could pretend betrayal doesn't matter? So I could model weakness to my children? So Colton could keep his job after sleeping with my wife? Not a chance. I chose fire. I chose to make sure consequences were felt. I wanted every person involved to know I'm not someone to cross, and I made sure of it. And yes, I do it the same way again. Life's too short to live with people who don't value you. I doubt I'll ever speak to my kids again. Maybe someday, when they're grown, when they've felt what it's like to be betrayed by someone they trusted, maybe then they'll understand, or maybe they won't. Either way, I've moved on. And for anyone who says I'm boasting, you're absolutely right I am. Because I went from being stabbed in the back to standing tall, and I rebuilt better than before.